Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee and thank you for joining me for day 48 of VLOGNAROK, which is where I am vlogging every day, whether it's, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm not vlogging, I am vlogging. I'm recording little bits every day, but I'm releasing videos every day on this YouTube channel until I either finish certain projects or I go back to work from maternity leave, which is the end of January. So we'll see which comes first. But this is I wanted to give sort of a little bit of an idea of where I'm thinking of heading with Vengeance Publishing in 2022. Not a lot, going back to my job in administration. Unfortunately, we just could not wrangle me trying to get the business running from home without a secondary income. So hopefully over the next 12 to 24 months, I'll be able to bring Vengeance Publishing up to a standard where I've got enough of a regular income to leave my day job, so to speak, and make this my part-time work. I won't say full-time because I am a full-time mum and a part-time worker. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. I've had to stretch my goal was to try to get it done by the end of this year. It hasn't happened due to, well, you know, babies. So I've had to stretch out my sort of financial sort of ideals for another couple of years. And look, hey, if it doesn't work and I'm still seeing improvement, I might just stretch it out another few years on top of that. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. So in saying that, my goals, well, not really goals, but my focuses for Vengeance Publishing next year is just going to be in two areas. So I want to continue to do the low content book publishing. I'm sort of getting a bit more of an idea of what I want to release in regards to the low content market. And for me, it is science fiction and fantasy looking covers and pretty flexible internals. So obviously what I want to do next year is aim to have one cover release a month. And I want to do it in 4 sizes. So an A4, which is what I call my Murin range, A5, which is my Marek range, B5, which is my Mentu range, and B6, which is my Muse range. And I want to release in those 4, I want to do 4 different styles, a 120 page, and a 280 page paperback. And then I have, it doesn't work in the Muse because it's too small, but in the other 3 I can do a hardcover edition via KDP Publishing for 120 pages and 360 pages. And I've got about 40 internals that I have formatted and set up for the three of the 4 ranges so far. I'm working on the B6s at the moment. I've just got to make sure that my test B6 goes up with no issues via KDP. And then once I know that's done, I can set up the internals. But I'm not going to release every internal all the time because there's a lot of them. What I'm going to do is do my basics, and then if I'm finding a particular cover is popular, I'm going to release the other internals, because although they're all pre-done, it takes me a while to get them up into the site. So I've got to start being a bit aware that this is going to start being a after babies go to bed job. Yes, after babies go to bed, because yeah. So I'm looking at, when it comes to the internals, I'm looking at doing lined and dot in all my ranges, non-photo blue in the paperbacks only, And I've also got the comic designer and the graphic novel designer in the paperbacks only. What I'm also looking at doing, because I want these, is I'm thinking about doing some reverse books. So instead of going left to right on the opening, you go right to left. So the cover, okay, so my folio here, if I put my plan next year, once I finish this book, is to have one in here, is to have a 120 A5 in here and a 120 A5 in here, and have 2 books in the one folio. But at the moment, I only have, and I've shown them off in a vlog a few days ago because I received them last week. I only have ones that open this way. So that open this way. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing a dot grid and a lined that open this way with numbered pages, which is the traditional Japanese and Chinese way of reading things. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the idea is that I can have 2 books and still see the nice covers rather than see the back cover that's got the barcode on it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to at least put up a couple. Let me know if you're interested in them, and I'll let you know when they're up. So that's pretty much the low content publishing side of things. It's going to be around about 50. It's going to be around about 50 different versions of one cover per month. So I think I can do that. So I'll just have to put a day aside, put a night aside after the kids go to bed, and just upload as many as I can, and then the next week do the rest of them, do another lot. So that's the plan for them. And the reason I am telling you this is to try to keep myself accountable and not go off the rails and try to do about 50 different things at once. I've got to focus. When it comes to fiction for me next year, I've got a few different goals. So my current goals for VLOGNAROK, which will be up to the end of January, I want to finish the current edit I'm doing of Vendetta, and then that is going to my workshop crew. So it's going to be my workshopping for probably the next 6 to 8 months. I also want to revisit Descent because I've had it sitting there having a bit of a break whilst I'm doing this edit with Vendetta, and I've realised there's a few logic errors. It's not integral to the plot, but it's sort of more world building, sort of fleshing out storylines. And I know if I was reading it as a book, it would bug me to have that logic error. So I've got to go in there and I've got to think of a different way to explain it, or slightly different spin to put on it to make it make more sense that they're doing something. And it's not the plot, it's not the way plot, it's not really plot, it's not the character, it's not the actions they do, it's more sort of like one of them is the bar that Eric works at for a little while has certain rules in place, and the rules are in place to protect the staff. So I've got to justify those rules in a way that makes sense, so that when Eric breaks them, because Eric is Eric and he can't help himself, it makes a bit more sense as to he broke them because they're against the way he is as a person, and they're not, and the rules just aren't in place as something to be broken. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So yeah, just a couple little logic, and they're niggling at me, which means they'll niggle at the reader, and I cannot do that. So once I've redone that and I've played out those areas a bit better, then that will go back to the workshop crew just for a read through, just to see if they pick up any more of those kind of little logic errors. Sorry for the change of angle, guys, but my camera battery just decided to die halfway through recording something. Ugh, it's okay. The price of VLOGNAROK, actually. I'm going to need to get a second battery. So, they are my goal. They're sort of what I want to get done during VLOGNAROK in regards to my fiction. But what I want to do is I want to expand on that a little bit come next year. And I actually want to have Descent released before the end of the financial year in Australia, which is the end of June, which also would be the middle of the year. So, yeah, Mummy wants to actually have a book published. Well, a second book. So I really want to get Descent sorted. Once the draft that I'm doing for VLOGNAROK is done and fixed, it goes back to the workshop crew just for a quick read through for any potential logic errors that I haven't picked up, and then from there it will go to the editor if there's no major problems. If they pick up a big major problem, I'll have to reassess. Then when it comes to Vendetta, same thing. Once the draft will be finished, that is going in for full workshopping. So that will be fortnightly, chapter, in-depth, pull-aparts, discussions, figuring out whether or not things are working, characters, that sort of stuff. But here she says, note the confidence. Vendetta feels very tight for me. It feels like it's cleaned up and it feels good, which is the first time that's felt in a long time for me, for any writing. So I honestly don't think there's going to be that much more so when it comes to Vendetta, unless there's something I have got a complete blind spot for, I can't see there being too much in the way of major structural or plot editing after this. After this one that I'm doing now, which isn't actually a big change at all. I'm just really looking at descriptions and showing, not telling, that sort of stuff at the moment. As I was going to say, if all goes to plan with Vendetta, I am hoping to have that released before the end of the year. Hopefully in time for people to buy Christmas presents. In 2022, people. 2022. And the third thing I want to get done in regards to my fiction is I want to have the first draft for Elixis, which is the sequel to Vendetta. I want to have the first draft done. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be brilliant. It just has to be done. And I vaguely recall the draft I've got at the moment of that is about 30,000 words. So if it's going to be around about the same size as Vendetta, which it should be, I'm looking at between, I reckon Vendetta's going to be about 100 to 120,000 words now, just with that in the description. So I've got about another 90,000 words to write on Elixis, but I'm actually looking forward to writing it because it's new. It's something new to write, but I'm not letting myself get shiny object syndrome. I am finishing these drafts and I am going to try to get all the editing done because I really want to get these books out. So that is my plans for Vengeance Publishing next year. If you are interested in having a look at the low content books, they're down below. The link to my Amazon author page as Vengeance Publishing. Let me know below if you've got any questions or what are your plans for next year when it comes to writing? Do you have anything you want to get published? Do you have any, or are you going to be querying with agents and things like that? And what about you? What are you going to do? Are you going to look cute and grow more teeth? I think that's your plan, isn't it? Your plan next year is to grow more teeth and learn to walk. think they're very productive plans. So that's it, guys. That's my plans for Vengeance Publishing's that is my plans for Vengeance Publishing next year. Oh, Morgan, come on, stop folding yourself in half, darling. And they're my plans for Vengeance Publishing next year, and hopefully, this one and her brother allow me to get them done, because I really want to get these books out into the world and hear people's opinions. So stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you on the morrow. Bye. You gonna say goodbye? Are you gonna say goodbye? Difference. Is that tasty? Is that pen tasty? I've got the lid on it so she can't get to the actual pen part. But that rubber on the end tastes yummy. Is that good on your toothy peg?